considerable time. He absolutely loves South Africa, but he was telling me about the grid crisis, and I was like, oh wow, that's actually a little bit worse than what we had experienced in Tonga, Tanzania. So South Africa's grid crisis is a real issue. I also had a contractor that I employed down there, and she would face these grid failures, and she would say, hey, I can't do my work today. The grid failed, and that's just it. I was like, dang, there's no cafes or anything. I don't know, that's her business. But at the end of the day, if you are in the growth phase of your business, if you are creating an online consultancy like we teach our clients to do in Black Educators Amplified, if you are on a W-2, if you are actively working in your business, which the vast majority of people are, then you either need like backup generators, you need to put some money into, having some solar panels, whatever it is, or you may want to look at choosing a more stable country that has a better electrical grid. This is something that my brother warned me about. He said it was fine for him because it was just him. He was traveling. He wasn't too worried about work, but he actually ended up spending time in Chiang Mai, Thailand, when he wanted to just really focus on work. He said down there he would get distracted a lot, and he absolutely loves it, especially on the Eastern Cape, but he was distracted. And so if he wanted to just like dive deeply into his work and get stuff done, he would go to Chiang Mai, Thailand, then, he would come back or whatever, okay? And so the country's grid remains fragile, and winter demand is pushing it towards collapse once more. Now, these grid crises started happening again in 2025, and the rolling blackouts are back. Now, also, my brother told me that typically there's this app and they'll let them know when the grid's going down, and it might be down that whole day or whatever, but that can really set you back, especially if you're a homeschooling family or if you have children and you're just trying to get stuff together. That can really set you back. That's something to think about, because where the places that I lived in Tanzania, like Tonga, like in Bweni, the area we were in Dar es Salaam and Bezi, those places, the power doesn't go out for that long. It may go out for a couple of hours, and that's about it if you choose the right neighborhood. Even here in Mauritius, the power went out for like 15 minutes. And so that's just about it. So you want to be in a place with a stable connection to electricity if you are in the startup phase. Now, if you're of retirement age, that's totally different. You may be like, shoot, this power out, I'm chilling, I'm good. But when you are under 45 and you are growing an enterprise, you're gonna have issues. You're just gonna have issues. That's just the reality, okay? And so you want to prepare for multi-hour outages daily. You want to secure food and water that don't need refrigeration. And you want to have backup energy solutions if you're staying there long term. Whoo, child. Now we gotta fly to the Mediterranean. Let's go. Let's go to Tunisia in North Africa. In July 2025, human rights groups report that Tunisia continues to expel African migrants into the Sahara. Yes, the Sahara Desert, abandoning them at its borders with Libya and Algeria. This is happening with European Union funding aimed at stopping migrant boats from reaching Italy. Here's the key takeaway for you. Understand local resentment towards sub-Saharan Africans if you're in Italy. I'm just leave that there. I've heard too many stories about Italy. I'm just saying I'm not really that enthused into ever living in Italy, to be quite honest with you. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna keep going. Watch for changing entry requirements or detentions if traveling through Tunisia, and see the writing on the wall for the EU migration policy, externalization and crackdown. The EU tends to copy what the US is doing. Look at what the US is doing right now, cracking down on certain brown and black groups of people. You can say for a fact the EU is probably going to have the same sentiment, as well as potentially Australia. Now let's go to Greece. Greece wildfires force evacuations. Record heat waves have returned, and with them devastating fires on the Greek islands. In July, emergency evacuations have been ordered on roads in Crete. Factor fire season into travel plans. Ensure insurance covers natural disasters. And obviously expect disruptions at hotels, ferries, and airports, okay? Now, let's talk about the visa and border crackdown happening this month. Now, starting July 1st, the UK marked the full enforcement of its new family visa salary requirement, which is 38,000 euros, blocking thousands from bringing partners or children, okay? Australia is enforcing a 25% cut to migrant intake, which was first announced in May. The US is preparing for mass deportation raids in the lead up to the end of 2025. We already have seen that they have Alligator Alcatraz. They have these detainment camps that are already here. And so you need to just be aware of these things. You need to be aware. You need to know what's going on. Don't assume you can just move to the West. Don't assume you can just move into any territory. Check the visa income thresholds carefully. These things change all the time. For some regions, it gets better. I'm going to name the 2 regions where it gets better. Mauritius, Seychelles, Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines, Ghana, Senegal, Rwanda, currently. Those are the only ones that have shifted policy to benefit foreigners and expats that are coming into their lands. And you should just be aware that I've just named all islands. This is a pattern that we can see. Islands are going to be a bit more welcoming. One, because they're dependent on your tourism. And so when you have a country that's dependent on tourism, they don't really have the option like, I don't have any gold, don't have much silver. So I really need people to come into the island. So they're going to treat them nicely. They're going to be kind. More than that, they're going to market to them as well, because they want you to come in and spend your US dollar, your UK pound. I was about to say shilling, pound. Any Western currency, they want you to spend it. That's how it is. Thailand, they have announced fabulous visas, to be quite honest with you. Vietnam, fabulous visas, to be honest with you. Cambodia, the Philippines. But if you're like me and you just love the continent, maybe Mauritius, Seychelles, Rwanda, Botswana, and then maybe in South Africa could be your choice, right? And so those are things that you want to look at. Even Ghana. Ghana stays is one of the best ones for people who want to travel. Ghana just, Ghana tops the list because Ghana has it together and their economy is growing. Like Ghana's just like one of those places to be. I think Senegal will also be a great place to be. I think eventually Senegal will launch a digital nomad visa because they are currently like the tech entrepreneur hub in West Africa. Okay, that's what I expect Senegal to do here in the coming months to years. Kenya was a fabulous choice, but they're just facing some instability right now. That's something to watch if you have children. Again, I'm a mother of 5 children, and so I prioritize safety over everything. Safety, ease, and longevity. Those are my metrics. If it's not safety, ease, and longevity, I don't want it. Also understand you're gonna have to prepare for stricter documentation, longer wait times, and higher rejection rates. We're seeing a world retreat from openness. Border walls are going up. Visas are getting harder to secure. Economic crises are fueling anger and protests. Countries are tightening their internal security and scapegoating outsiders. If you're an expat, you cannot ignore these trends. You cannot afford to ignore this, okay? So stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Have emergency cash. Know local protest triggers, understand how to have an exit strategy, stay on top of changing visa rules by subscribing to Journey with us. Stay informed, be prepared, stay safe, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share this with 10 people. I think this 30-minute session that I've just had with you right here is worthy of you sharing to 5 to 10 people. If you found value in it, don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Let me know what you think of this down below. Do you see this bigger trend that's happening across the globe? Like, you need to get to the place that you are called to be in quick before it shuts down. Shalom, shalom.